This photograph shows the 9th Battalion, London Regiment, Queen Victoria's Rifles, on a route march leaving Hyde Park in December 1914, only a few months after the outbreak of the First World War. The men are marching in disciplined formation, their long overcoats and caps marking them out as newly enlisted volunteers. The scene reflects the surge of patriotic enlistment that characterised Britain in the early months of the war, before the grim realities of trench warfare became fully known. The Queen Victoria's Rifles, originally a volunteer unit, were mobilised as part of the London Regiment at the outbreak of war. Many of its recruits were young clerks, shop assistants and professionals from the capital, answering the call to arms during Lord Kitchener's famous recruitment drive. In the photograph, their faces, serious, expectant and sometimes uncertain, capture the mood of an army on the threshold of transformation. Within months, many of these men would find themselves at the front, fighting in Belgium and France. The choice of Hyde Park as a mustering ground is significant. Central London parks became gathering and training areas for territorial and newly raised battalions, serving as visible symbols of the war effort in the heart of the capital. Crowds often gathered to watch parades such as this, where civilian soldiers marched off to prepare for active service. After leaving for France in early 1915, the Queen Victoria's Rifles soon found themselves in the thick of fighting on the Western Front. Their baptism of fire came during the Second Battle of Ypres in April 1915, where they faced the first large-scale German poison gas attacks. The battalion suffered heavy casualties, and many of the original volunteers seen marching from Hyde Park were killed or wounded within months of arrival. The regiment went on to fight in some of the most brutal engagements of the war. At the Somme in 1916, they took part in repeated assaults on German positions, enduring appalling losses for limited gains. Later, they were engaged at Arras in 1917, and during the long struggle at Passchendaele, where rain and shellfire turned the battlefield into a sea of mud. In the war's final year, the battalion played a role in the Allied offensives of 1918, helping push the exhausted German army back through northern France. By the Armistice, the Queen Victoria's Rifles had been transformed from a largely middle-class London volunteer unit into a hardened fighting battalion, though at a terrible cost. Casualties were so high that by the end of the war, few of the men who had paraded proudly through Hyde Park in 1914 were still serving. Their sacrifice was remembered in regimental memorials and through the continued traditions of the London Regiment, which carried their name into later decades.